Hi guys, welcome to Original Gamers UK, and this is my Resident Evil collection. Definitely one of the biggest collections I have after like Final Fantasy, Street Fighter, Tales of. I think after those three, this is possibly the biggest collection of a single game I've got. I'm just having a look around the room and yeah, pretty confident that this is the next one. So, we never really speak too much about Resident Evil on the channel. I kind of thought, you know, let's give it some love, because I've been playing the Resident Evil 2 remake, absolutely loving it at the minute. So I thought, you know, let's do a Resident Evil collection video. So without further ado, I'm going to start off with a game on the 3DS, just because it's the closest one to me, and that is Resident Evil Revelations. What can I say about Resident Evil Revelations? For me, this is one of my favourite games in the series. Just the atmosphere of being like in the claustrophobic ship. There's something about that kind of atmosphere that just makes it more tense, and that's what you want in Resident Evil. That's what I want in a Resident Evil game. And I wasn't sure going into it like how it was going to work on the 3DS, but yeah, and look, it's actually got a manual. It's actually in colour, believe it or not. Very rare for now. Yeah. So, and then they've got these also on the Resident Evil Revelations 1 and 2 on PS4. I'm not sure if that's on any other platform. It could be on Xbox One, but I don't know. But yeah, so Resident Evil Revelations. If you've got a 3DS or a PS4, you like Resident Evil, but you stick to the main series, this would be the one after the main series that I'd say definitely go for. Okay, on to some Xbox 360 titles. I was let you know I have Resident Evil 4. I'm going to speak about Resident Evil 4 a lot in a bit. But I've got Resident Evil 4 as a download on 360. And then I don't actually know where the original one is of this, because I like when I was getting the games off the shelf and being like, I don't remember having the gold edition of Resident Evil 5. I remember having the original version of it, because this is one I think I picked up like 4 or 5 years ago because it was really, really cheap. I was like, oh yeah, why not? But I'm not sure where my original one's gone. Yeah, so Resident Evil 5. So for me, back with Chris Redfield, Resi 5 was great for the multiplayer. Me and Simon played on Resi 5 a hell of a lot. Had a lot of fun on it. But for some reason, this whole split screen, it's not like full split screen, and it's just so weird. And even with the PS4 remake, they didn't change that. But I'm not a hater of this. It definitely is a lot more shooty than Resi 4, and especially of the earlier ones. But for me, it still is a Resident Evil game, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I love how much there is to do in this game, even without DLC. I mean, in terms of the amount of weapons and how much upgrades they need, trying to get all the treasures. So some of those treasures are really, really difficult. Yeah, so for me, Resi 5 is a great game. I probably would put it as second or third favourite in the series. So, you know, for me, I really, really like the game. Now, Resi 6. So I've got the Steelbook version here. No Hope Left. This is the game in the series that I was most hyped for, coming off the back of 2 games that I absolutely loved. I played Resi 4 first, then Resi 5, then going on to Resi 6. My hype was so high. I remember watching the trailer for it, and just being like, oh my god. It was like someone who's like playing it live at like E3 or something, and he goes through the whole first chapter. Leon's chapters in this game are some of the best Resi moments for me. I did that first chapter of Leon on the Dragon's Dogma demo, and I did that first chapter, you know, 10, 15 plus times before the game came out. I absolutely loved it. And if Resi 6 had stayed like that through all the chapters for all the characters, wow, it would have been a serious contender for me for second place. But it didn't. You know, some of the other storylines, they're a bit OTT to say the least, and very, very trigger happy. But yet again, the two-player elements of it, the Mercenaries mode in it is one of my favourites. So Resident Evil 6 is still a brilliant game in the series for me, but not quite as good as the games that came before it. Okay, now I've got some other games here. Don't hate on me, some of them I've not played on, they're purely for collector's purposes. I do have intentions of playing on some of them in the future, but yeah. So, I can't comment much on them, but just to let you know that I've got them. That Resident Evil Code Veronica X for the PS2. I know this is also on Dreamcast, it could have been on original Xbox, but yeah. Let me know, guys, what you think of this. Now, a game that I'm sure is absolutely terrible, and I never realised how many Resident Evil games are on PS2 that I'd never even heard of. Like, obviously, I know Code Veronica X is on there, and I know that's actually meant to be a good game, but just looks so unofficial. But Resident Evil Dead Aim, I think it's a light gun game. Yeah, not much to say. Not even got the manual of that. But yeah, another game to have. Right, just looking if I've got any more on PS2 with me. No. Right, before we get on to the main game, which I'm sure you'll all know what that is, I've got this Wii game. Resident Evil Umbrella Chronicles, which I'm pretty sure is an on-rails shooter. So, yeah, not played it. I think I got this as a pickup. I want to say, like, oh, there's something in the back of that. So what is it? It's just a receipt, not from me. I think I got this from like CEX in like the past year. So yeah, that's a pretty good pick. It was either from CEX or Doncaster Gaming Market. I can't remember. Got a few more on the Wii. So we have the Umbrella Chronicles. We also have the Dark Side Chronicles. I think this is similar. This could be the light gun one. I think this is the light gun one. Yeah, it's got similar on the back. So Dark Side Chronicles. Yeah, I don't know. I think I got those at the same time. I think I got them both for like a £5, something like really good. And then this one I got for I think £1.50 or £2, and that is the original game Resident Evil on Wii. And then I have another game on Wii, which is Resi 4. So that'll bring me on to Resi 4, which is here. So, my first experience of the best survival horror game ever, and my fourth favourite game of all time, was Resident Evil 4 on the GameCube. The GameCube version of this, I remember the GameCube was the first console I owned that was just mine. It wasn't like something that was my brother's and then like I kind of played. I had the GameCube and he had the PS2, and you know, it was a very special time for me with having my own console, my own video games, but for so long I wasn't allowed to have Resident Evil 4. I was too young to have it, so I wasn't allowed it. And then I remember going to my friend's house and like, you know, sneakily like playing it at his house, and wow, so he was in like about an hour in, so still in the village area, and I saw him do the massive fish boss thing. But we were playing on it for just hours and hours and hours, and the graphics for the time, oh my god, the graphics were incredible. The atmosphere, the gameplay, everything about this game for me, for the genre is absolutely perfect. It's perfection. This game, to me, is a survival horror game. It's perfection. And I've completed this game, I don't know, like, I want to say 25, 30 plus times. I have Resident Evil 4 on the GameCube. I have it on the Wii. I have it on 360. I have it on PS4. And I've also completed it on other people's accounts. I've completed it on normal mode, professional mode, amateur mode, just for the fun of it. Yeah, as I say, my fourth favourite game ever, my favourite Resident Evil game, hands down, the first Resident Evil game I played, and I guess that's a lot of the reason why it would be, because the nostalgia's there, but also I just think there's just something special about it. Just the level design, everything, yeah. So Resident Evil 4, I have physical copies on the Wii, on the GameCube, and on the PS4. Got all the trophies on PS4, got all the achievements on Xbox 360. So yeah, I love that game a lot. And another game that I got off on the back of Resident Evil 4 on the GameCube, I got this 1 year later. And obviously I've only played Resident Evil 4 up to this point, and that's what I think every Resident Evil game is like. And then I find out that Resident Evil 0, tank controls, static camera, wow, this game was very difficult. One of the only games that I've ever had to go through on easy, first time to be able to complete it. I was trying it on normal, I restarted it on normal quite a few times, and I was like, I'm just going to bite the bullet and go through this on easy. Now I would say that I think this would be like my third favourite game in the series, Resident Evil 0. Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed this once I got good at it, but up until that point I found it like really frustrating, because I say coming back off of the back of Resident Evil 4 being my favourite and this being so different to that, but to me they're both, the core gameplay is still Resident Evil. I know a lot of people like to say like, oh, true Resident Evil games are like these, and then like other people think the other ones. For me, all of the main title series up to Resident Evil 4 are like true Resident games. Okay, and then I have the original Resident Evil also on GameCube. I'm not going to go into this too much. You know, this is where it all came from. Very famous. One of the best games in the survival horror genre. One of the best games in the series, no doubt. And I think just the GameCube versions for me are like some of the classic ones. So we're going back Resident Evil 0. I have the Resident Evil Origins collection, which is Resident Evil and Resident Evil 0 for the PS4. I feel like I did Resident Evil 0 on this game, but I don't think I did the original Resident Evil on the PS4 version yet. And then a few years ago, I'm actually thinking how, it probably scared me to know how many years ago it was now. I'm sure this is 2016 or 2017. I'm having a look. I can't see it. I think it's 2017. Resident Evil 7 came out in VR as well. I didn't play it on VR, thank God. Resident Evil 7. I was really happy that they tried the third person, and I think it made sense, and I think it's a good game. I think it's a very engaging game, and it draws you in, but it didn't have much replay value for me personally. I like the journey that it led you through. I could happily watch someone else, I think, play it, but for the amount of content that you get in the original game, not that great. One of the shorter games in the series. So I'm still hoping to get the Resident Evil 7 Gold Edition, but I'm going to wait for that to come down in price. Resident Evil 5 and Resident Evil 6, gone about them. Me and Simon have completed both of them again on the PS4, so that kind of shows you how much we like them both. We've done literally everything there is to do on Resident Evil 5, gone through that on, I can't remember if professional or veteran, whichever one's the most difficult, but the most difficult difficulty we've done on Resident Evil 5, and that was pretty hard. The bosses, when you can't choose which weapons you actually use on them, that is difficult, but yeah, we've done that. And obviously these both come with all the DLC. And then the final game I've got is Resident Evil 2, so the one that I'm playing on at the minute. And no, I've never actually fully completed the original. You will notice that I don't have the original. I know lots about the original, I've seen other people play it, but I never have personally completed it. So for me, going through it now, I've just done the first main area, going through the police station, I've done the goddess part, goddess statue part, and I've done the boss after that, and that's where I'm up to currently. And I think it's definitely contending for second or third spot for me at the moment. And then the other thing I have is I have a Resident Evil 6 strategy guide. So it's every time, but for collector's purposes, I never use the manuals on a first run through. I will use it once I've done everything that I can do, and then use the strategy guide. I just think it adds something it's really, really nice to hang on to. So yeah, oh yeah, the dual chapters with Ada Wong. So guys, that is my Resident Evil collection. I hope you liked having a look. So it's not a huge collection, and actually I'm realising more and more how many games I don't have in this series. Even though when I look down, I'm like, I've got a lot of games there, but there's a lot of games in the series that I don't have. I don't have Resident Evil 2, the original. I don't have Resident Evil 3. I don't have Resident Evil Revelations 2. I don't have some more of them on the PS2. So yeah, so I'm aware of all that, but I am hoping to get them, to get some more. I know there's also some more on 3DS that I don't have. But guys, that was my Resident Evil collection. Let me know what games and series are your favourite and what you've got in your collection, and I'll see you guys soon.